The film begins with the protagonist, Young Do-hyun, an MMA champion fighter, returning home to meet his mother and sister. As he arrives, he notices that all the lights in the house are off and spots blood on the refrigerator. Alarmed, he searches the house for his family and finds his sister covered in blood, having been stabbed. Suddenly, several criminals attack him, attempting to kill him. He is forced into a deadly confrontation, ultimately using his strength to fight back and kill them all. 2 years after the incident, we are introduced to Cha Woo-sol, a shy student who, like many others, is studying hard to get into college. One day, a new student named Bae Suk-chan suddenly joins the class. Woo-sol's expression changes as fear washes over him. There's something unsettling about Suk-chan's presence. Suk-chan introduces himself as a martial arts champion and immediately begins to intimidate his classmates. It becomes clear that he has a history with Woo-sol. Suk-chan starts provoking him, reminding him of his past and asserting dominance, even bullying the girls in the class. When Woo-sol asks him to stop, Suk-chan escalates his harassment and dares Woo-sol to stab him in the eye with a pen. Overwhelmed by fear and rage, Woo-sol lashes out and stabs Suk-chan in the eye. The situation spirals quickly, and Woo-sol is charged with attempted murder. Despite the circumstances, the court rules against him, and he is sentenced to prison as punishment. Here begins Woo-sol's journey into a world completely unfamiliar to him. He meets the former champion, Young Do-hyun, who sits beside him. As Woo-sol begins his time in prison, he starts to get to know the other inmates. They explain the rules to him and tell him that there is a leader inside and strict laws that must not be broken. Soon after, we see that 3 inmates hold power over the prison. 2 of them conspire to falsely accuse another prisoner who stands in the way of their control. Their plan succeeds, solidifying their dominance within the prison. One day, while the prisoners are playing soccer, the 2 inmates who dominate the others play aggressively and roughly. Because of this, they look for more players to join the game and keep it going. As the rough play continues, Woo-sol ends up forcefully kicking the ball, accidentally injuring one of the dominant inmates. This angers the injured inmate, who develops a grudge and wants to attack him. As they corner Woo-sol to beat him up, Young Do-hyun sees them in the hallway. Woo-sol pleads for help, and Young Do-hyun steps in, saving him by striking the inmate and forcing him to back off. Later, Woo-sol receives a notice that someone wants to see him in the visitation area. To his shock, it's Suk-chan, who threatens him, saying he will make him suffer and take revenge for what happened. Even in prison, Woo-sol continues to face bullying and harsh treatment. Realizing that the only way to escape this fate is to become stronger, he asks Young Do-hyun to train him. At first, Young Do-hyun refuses, but Woo-sol persists. Eventually, Young Do-hyun agrees on the condition that Woo-sol beats him in running laps around the yard. Woo-sol accepts, but his weak physical condition makes it nearly impossible. Despite his determination, his body gives out, and he collapses before completing the task. After several days, we see the prison warden meeting with Young Do-hyun in his office. He admits that he wronged him during the trial and acknowledges that Young Do-hyun's presence has helped maintain stability and prevent problems within the prison. Young Do-hyun then requests that Woo-sol be transferred from his current cell to stay with him. This marks the beginning of Woo-sol's training. Young Do-hyun decides to help transform him. Day by day, through Young Do-hyun's intense and demanding training, Woo-sol begins to change. Both physically and mentally, he starts to improve, becoming stronger and better with each passing day. Then we see Bae Suk outside one day. He gets into a fight with members of a gang and manages to defeat them. Their leader witnesses this and decides to recruit Bae Suk into the gang, promising to teach him how to fight even better. Meanwhile, as Woo-sol continues his training, his friend tells him that Young Do-hyun will soon be transferred to another prison. Woo-sol feels saddened by his departure and shares his feelings with him. At the same time, the prison leaders instruct their followers to bring in Woo-sol's friend and beat him up. Woo-sol intervenes and, for the first time, uses his strength to fight back and defend his friend from the bullies. We see one of the prison leaders furious and ordering his men once again to bring Wu Sol to him. They summon him, and Wu Sol agrees to meet them. He tries to apologize, but the leader refuses and begins to beat him, continuing to hurt him. This pushes Wu Sol to shift into a defensive stance and fight back. A brutal fight breaks out between them, and Wu Sol comes close to losing his life. But he refuses to give up and challenges his fate, managing to defeat the prison leader. Just as he's about to deliver a final blow, Young Do-hyun appears and stops him. We see that Baek-suk has become even more ruthless under the gang leader, carrying out violent tasks that involve beating up rivals. Meanwhile, Young Do-hyun continues training Wu Sol, helping him understand his weaknesses. These are the final days of their training together before Young Do-hyun is transferred to another prison. Before leaving, Young Do-hyun says goodbye to Wu Sol and tells him to continue training, reminding him that he's a skilled fighter. A few days later, one of the prison leaders is informed that a new inmate will be replacing him, someone known to be a fierce fighter. Wu Sol appears and confronts one of the prison leaders, telling him to stop harassing other inmates and to stay out of his way. But the leader strikes him, and Wu Sol falls to the ground. Wu Sol then meets one of the prison leaders who had previously claimed he would defeat him and take his place. However, Wu Sol denies having any such intentions and says he's not interested in things like that. Later, Baek-suk visits Wu Sol again, trying to intimidate him by revealing he's now part of a gang. But he's shocked by how much Wu Sol has changed, no longer the weak, timid boy he used to be. Meanwhile, the prison leaders still don't trust Wu Sol and want to teach him a lesson. They arrange to confront him in the prison yard, where one of them challenges him to a fight. When Wu Sol arrives, a fierce battle takes place. He manages to defeat his opponent just before the prison guards intervene and break up the fight. After serving his sentence, Wu Sol is approached by the prison leaders, who now want to make peace with him. They agree to a truce and become friends, allowing peaceful days to follow. Eventually, news arrives that Wu Sol's sentence has ended and he will be released. In the final part of the film, we see Baek-suk waiting for him outside the prison, still seeking revenge. A final fight breaks out between them. But Wu Sol is no longer the same boy Baek-suk once bullied. He's stronger, more confident, and ultimately defeats him. Wu Sol walks away, leaving Baek-suk behind. The film ends with an open ending, leaving the rest to the viewer's imagination. It is more than just a film about revenge. It's a story of personal growth, transformation from weakness to strength, and the importance of guidance and support in overcoming challenges. The movie delivers an inspiring message about the power of change and standing up against injustice. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more movies.